Have you ever stopped and wondered why, despite giving literally everything to the people around you, you still feel completely invisible? Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're not going to sugarcoat things. We're looking straight into the mirror to uncover 5 hard, undeniable psychological truths about personal worth and respect. Let me ask you a really direct question, and I want you to be brutally honest with yourself here. Do you feel like you do absolutely everything for everyone else, but no one truly values you? It's an incredibly painful place to be, right? You bend over backwards, you make all the sacrifices, and yet the return on that emotional investment, it just feels completely empty. Okay, let's dive into this. You send a message and hours pass with absolutely no reply. You speak up in a group, but you can just tell no one is actually listening to you. It's almost as if your very presence feels worthless in the room. Take a second and just let the weight of that reality sink in. It hurts, doesn't it? But here's where we really need to shift our perspective. We constantly ask why they are acting this way, but the real question, the one we need to answer today, is this. Is the problem actually them, or are there habits you have right now that are secretly destroying your own value? Throughout this explainer, we're going to uncover 5 difficult truths about how we often diminish our own respect completely without realizing it. All right, let's get right into truth number 1. Trying to win everyone's heart. Look, wanting to be loved and accepted, that is a fundamentally normal human desire. We all want it. But the trap here is sacrificing your own self-respect just to achieve it. And this brilliantly illustrates the divide. On one side, we have the habit of always saying yes, thinking it makes us valuable. But the Stoic reality is that true value comes from setting firm boundaries and actually learning to say no. If you're the person who says yes to absolutely everything, people will, slowly but surely, just stop valuing your input. It's literally the psychological rule of supply and demand, just applied to human relationships. What is easily available simply loses its value. Think about it. Diamonds are prized because they're rare, not because they're everywhere. If you are always there, always bending to the will of others, your presence becomes cheap. Remember this. It is not your responsibility to keep everyone happy. Moving on to truth number 2, diminishing your own worth. We just talked about external boundaries, right? Well, let's look at your internal dialogue. The harsh reality of life is that the world views you exactly how you present yourself. How often do you catch yourself saying things like, I can't do this, or I'm just not that good, or this isn't for me? These are not just harmless thoughts. They are toxic, self-deprecating statements that broadcast a severe lack of value to everyone around you. Let me give you some tough love here. If you don't even believe in yourself, why on earth should anyone else believe in you? People mix these two concepts up all the time, so let's clarify. Confidence is not arrogance, it's being aware of your worth. Let that sink in for a moment. Knowing your value, standing tall in your abilities, and refusing to shrink yourself down for others, that is fundamentally different from being arrogant. It's simply having a healthy awareness of what you bring to the table. Which brings us to truth number 3, not valuing your own time. So the crucial point here is that time is your most unrenewable resource, yet so many of us treat it like it's cheap. Always being free, rushing over at any given moment, literally dropping all of your own tasks just to be ready for others. When you constantly do this, you don't look like a hero. You actually just make yourself seem endlessly available and honestly without your own purpose or direction. If you waste your own time, others are definitely not going to hesitate to waste it too. Now, you might think acting this way makes you a quote-unquote good person. And maybe it does. But there is a massive difference between being a good person and being a respected person. A respected person knows that their own goals, their own work, and their own time have immense value. They help others, sure, but never at the complete expense of their own life and ambitions. All right, truth number 4, seeking approval over your own voice. This is exactly where the anxiety of decision-making takes over. Instead of trusting their own gut and logic, so many people desperately seek external validation. What will people say? Are they going to like me? Do I look good to everyone? Are these the questions constantly looping in your head? By asking these things, you are literally handing the steering wheel of your life over to a crowd of total strangers. And the immense danger there is that in trying to please the crowd, you completely lose your own identity. Now, what's really interesting about this is the fascinating reality of human nature. Genuine respect never actually goes to the crowd pleaser. It goes to the independent thinker. People deeply respect those who hold their own stance and have the raw courage to stand alone when necessary. You kind of have to be willing to be disliked by some in order to be truly respected by the right ones. And finally, truth number 5, chasing attention instead of self-improvement. We live in an attention economy, right? And so many people want the respect and the applause, but they completely bypass the actual work. It's a deeply flawed desire to want respect without wanting to change yourself to earn it. But respect cannot be asked for. It must be earned. You cannot beg people to value you. True, lasting value is built from the ground up through your own actions and your own daily discipline. So how do you actually do that? Well, you shift your focus to undeniable growth. You build your skills until you are incredibly good at what you do. You expand your mind by constantly learning new things. You relentlessly improve your body, your mind, and your character. The exact day you start creating real value in yourself is the day people effortlessly start valuing you. Now look, we have to be realistic here. There is no magic rule that dictates absolutely everyone is going to value you. You just can't control other people's perceptions. But what you do have absolute 100% control over is yourself. You have the power to become someone who is simply hard to ignore. You become undeniable. Stop focusing on trying to change others. Seriously, stop complaining about how people treat you. The real work begins today, right now, with changing yourself. When you shift your energy away from outward frustration and redirect it toward inward growth, that's when everything in your life begins to align. When you learn to understand your own value, the world will be forced to understand it too. The respect you desperately crave from the outside world, it must first be generated from within. Once you truly realize what you are worth, you will stop giving others discounts. So, I want to leave you with this one final thought. Which of these 5 truths resonates most with your life right now? Take some time today to really reflect on your own habits. Identify where you might be shrinking yourself just to fit into someone else's world. Remember, your worth is yours alone. Never, ever hand it over to someone else.